to invite Claudette Powell to read the intro for Dr. Clunie, another of our honorees.
Thank you, Mr. MC. Good evening, everyone. My name is Claudette Powell, and it is truly an honor for me to introduce the next awardee, Dr. Garfield Clunie, a dear friend and a colleague, and I would want to say a brother from another mother, or maybe even a son. Dr. Clunie is President Emeritus for the National Medical Association and a specialist in maternal and fetal medicine. He serves as a dynamic leader in his field and within the diaspora community, a willing and dependable person. Dr. Clunie is extremely supportive and makes himself accessible to serve. You could just call on him like that and he's ready. This was the case when he led the first obstetrics in point of care ultrasound workshop for the JAHJAH Foundation in Jamaica this past January. And that project is called the Jamaica Handheld Ultrasound Project. And I'm sure you'll hear more about that later, and that's why we have to get ready to donate. The Board of Directors for the JAHJAH Foundation is pleased to present Dr. Garfield Clunie with the Philanthropic Leadership Award.
Success don't come overnight. No matter no substance over hype. Do it for the love, we not do it for the life.
Good evening, everyone. It is truly an honor to receive this recognition from Dr. Trevor Dixon and the JAHJAH Foundation, an entity that has changed the health trajectory of countless lives in Jamaica. It is also humbling to be recognized with Mr. Owen Hinds, who has contributed countless hours to the success of the JAHJAH Foundation, Mr. George Leconte, CEO of the New York City Health and Hospitals Harlem, who has had an amazing journey, and Mr. Clem of Grooving Radio, who I've had the privilege to be interviewed by him, which has been really fantastic. I'm gonna digress for a second and ask the question, does anyone know what Ross means? The reason I bring it up is because I was listening to the radio the other day and it came up. And I'm gonna tell you because I learned something that morning. It says, Ras is an Ethiopian word from the Amharic language, which means prince. And when you hear, as he said, Rastafari, it means Prince Tafari. And Prince Tafari became the emperor of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie I, in 1930. And he is considered by some a divine being who will eventually lead all black people to freedom. I never knew that part of our history, but like they say, you learn something new every day. And so it is it feels very special to be recognized with these three giants this evening. No pun intended, Ross. And although we don't talk all the time, I feel like Trevor, as my friend Claudette sort of said, Trevor is my brother from another mother. He is always so positive and not only always thinking about how he can improve the lives of Jamaicans, but also how to enhance their own practice of medicine, to improve their decision-making skills, to achieve the best outcome for the people of Jamaica. And I congratulate you, Trevor, on the success of JAHJAH Foundation. But I think Ross, Clem, and I may have had the same speechwriter because my next statement goes, but let's not forget the old saying, beside every successful man is a strong woman. However, this successful man, in my eyes, has three strong women behind him. I'd like to first recognize Trevor's beautiful wife, the lovely Miss Claudia, who is always so calm, cool, and collected as she supports Trevor in every move. Next, I'd like to recognize the one next to her, Miss Karen Shields, who I met in December 2021 when I participated in the mission to Savlamar Hospital and quickly realized that she is the guru behind the scenes to make all of JAHJAH's endeavors go through. And lastly, I'd like to recognize Miss Claudette Powell, registered nurse extraordinaire, who also supports Trevor as he executes his mission trips, and she also is actually the reason, as you can see, why I'm up here. I met Claudette at a Diaspora conference in Jamaica in 2019, and ever since then, she has pulled me in and made me part of this awesome group of persons who gives back to Jamaica. Thank you, Claudette, for believing that I had something to contribute. Thank you also to my family and friends who made a special trip here to celebrate this award with me, especially my sister Cherise, who's representing my family. And a special thanks to another friend, Sandra Christie Brown, who came all the way from Florida to celebrate with me, and her birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, Sandra. And by the way, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that she is a product of Marvelly Primary and Infant School, and she has done some fantastic work at that school called the Oasis in the Desert. Sandra, thank you for your friendship and for your work. And to all my friends from Mount Sinai and from NMA and otherwise, thank you all so much for coming. So in closing, I just want to quote the words of the late Nobel laureate, Sir Desmond Tutu, South African Archbishop and theologian. Do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world. So to everyone here, do what you can. It makes a difference. Thank you very much for this honor.